Happy Thanksgiving, Scoop Troop! I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I just want to start by saying that I'm so grateful for this community, for you, the listener. I'm just so grateful for this space that we've built together, and I'm grateful to have people in my corner, and I hope you know that I'm here in your corner supporting you as well. I'm just so grateful to have a space where I feel comfortable to talk about this stuff, and I feel like I have a community of people who understand me virtually through this podcast and through our Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, the link is in the description. It's our online Facebook support group. But yeah, I would like to start by saying I'm so grateful for all of you and just this community in general. But today's episode is going to be all about thanks, gratefulness. Is that a word? I think so. I'm just going to be running through some things that I am grateful for in sobriety. And I hope that this will give you some inspiration. In the beginning, it's hard to see the positives. It can be hard to be grateful for things when you're doing something that is so freaking hard. Like you're struggling in the beginning, and it can be hard to see the future and foresee being grateful for sobriety when it is the thing that is testing you the most. But trust me, sobriety is always the right decision. And even if you're maybe not grateful yet, by next Thanksgiving, you will be grateful for it. Because sobriety truly gives us so much. They say that you give up one thing to gain everything else. And that is so true. Like, that part is hard, okay? You're kicking out something that you have relied on for a long time and that you've used to kind of get through life. That's hard. But you're giving up just that one thing to gain so many other beautiful things in life. So I'm going to run through some of those beautiful things today. And if you're new on your sobriety journey, I hope this gives you some inspiration. And I also just think it's important to be grateful. I was just talking to my mom about this, but I made an episode a long time ago called Lucky Girl Syndrome. And it's all about how good things continue coming to your life if you have this mentality of being lucky. And I think that luck really stems from gratitude and just being grateful and noticing when good things do happen. Whereas if you notice bad things and notice negative things, more negative things happen. It's literally just your outlook. So I think it is important to show gratitude, and it's important to recognize the positives, even if there's an overwhelming amount of negatives or difficult things during your sobriety journey or anything else that you're facing in life. Even if there's an overwhelming amount of negatives, if you notice the positives, notice when they gave you a bigger size of your coffee, or you got a free coffee this week on your punch card, or somebody held the door open for you, or just random little amazing things that happen in life. Like, more amazing things will happen. And yeah, I just think it's really important to be grateful. So today I'm sharing what I'm grateful for. It's like at Thanksgiving when you all sit down and you go around the table and you say what you're grateful for. Well, I am very grateful for sobriety, and I'm going to give you a list of things that I am grateful for under that umbrella. So let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Sober Scoop. This is a judgment-free zone where we talk about how to get sober and stay sober. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Quitting alcohol is the best decision I've ever made. All right, first things first. I am grateful for the freed up space in my head. This is one of my favorite benefits of sobriety. People talk about all sorts of things, right? Like better sleep, better digestion, better physique. A lot of people lose weight. You get your color back in your face and you just look vibrant. There's so many benefits, physical, emotional, all this stuff. Probably my favorite benefit of sobriety that I noticed almost immediately after quitting was that the alcohol noise was gone. I've made a lot of videos online about kind of how my mind worked when I was a drinker. And I was constantly thinking about sobriety. I was constantly thinking about alcohol is what I meant to say. If I was invited to meet a friend for a coffee date, it was, well, should we go to a brunch spot so that I can order a mimosa? Should I pregame it if I'm not going to be able to drink at coffee? Should I sneak a couple drinks into the coffee date in my purse? What if she smells it on me? Should I pack some gum with me or some mints? Where am I going to hide the cans? Am I going to have to bury them in the trash can at the coffee place? If I put them back in my purse, they're going to get wet. I mean, it was just like constant alcohol noise. It was overwhelming, exhausting. I truly look back at that with just such disgust. I mean, resentment, if you will. Like, I hated that time. I really had no mental space for anything else. And so that is something that I'm so grateful for in sobriety, is just the peace in my head. Yeah, there are difficult times. Yeah, you occasionally think about alcohol. But it's not a constant thought. You are not shaping your entire life around alcohol and having to do all of these mental gymnastics and coordination and drunk math to like figure out how you're going to get booze. I don't miss that time at all. And I'm so grateful that in sobriety, my headspace is freed up. I remember when I first noticed this free space in my head, I was going to the Starbucks drive-thru to get my nice sugary caramel macchiato drink from Starbucks, because in the beginning I would reward myself every single day. I was so proud of myself for staying sober. I would allow myself to get a Starbucks drink and banana bread and a sweet treat in the evenings and sodas, as many as I wanted, and desserts. And my one rule was don't drink. And I rewarded myself every day for staying sober in other ways. Through, sugar mostly. But anyway, I remember I was in the Starbucks drive-thru and I didn't look at my phone. I just sat there and I kind of noticed like, whoa, it's like quiet in my head. There's peace. Imagine that. It was just a moment of, clarity. I was just like, wow. This is how life is supposed to be lived. It's not supposed to be a constant thought around one subject. Alcohol is such an unproductive subject to think about also. But I just felt clarity and peace. And I was like, wow, not having the noise of alcohol is such a blessing. So that's something that I'm so grateful for in sobriety. The next thing I'm thankful for is, like I mentioned earlier, digestion and sleep. And I know those seem basic, but especially digestion, I am so grateful. Like, it's embarrassing because like who wants to talk about potty stuff, right? But it's been life-changing, as crazy as that sounds. I had like bathroom anxiety, as they call it, constantly when I was a drinker. I like didn't have control of my bowels, if you will. I know that's TMI. I know it is. I'm sorry, but I feel like it needs to be talked about more. This is something in sobriety that is actually life-changing, and I'm like, how did I even exist before when I was a drinker? Alcohol just made me have to sprint to the bathroom multiple times a day. So much so that I stopped going on a morning walk. That was like the only healthy habit that I had, was like I would go on a short walk in the mornings to start off my day. But I wouldn't go on that walk until I had used the bathroom in the morning, because I was like so scared, because I had had so many close calls where I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. I mean, my stomach would just be in knots, like thinking that I was going to go on the street in the bushes or have to knock on a neighbor's door or something because I couldn't hold it anymore. And I went multiple times a day. Like, And I would drink so much beer and just, it would just be running through me. I mean, it was awful, and it was painful, and it was stressful. And for date nights and stuff, I'm like, am I going to have to like sprint to the bathroom in an uncomfortable environment? I don't know. And I was gassy, and I just, if you're going through this or you have been through this, you understand. But the digestion when you are a heavy drinker is just impossible to manage. And it's actually life altering. Back to those walks that I used to take in the morning, I stopped going on those walks because I had so many close calls. So my one healthy habit that I had in life, like my one routine that was semi-productive and healthy for me, I stopped doing because of number 2. And that I wasn't going to make it to a bathroom. The fear of not making it to a bathroom. And I thought I had IBS, but turns out it was just the booze. And once I got sober, my digestion was so consistent, predictable. Like, I don't have close calls. I'm very consistent. It feels good when your digestion is functioning as it should. Like, that's why I say, sorry TMI, but like, this is important stuff to talk about, because digestion is such an indicator of your overall health. And you truly feel like a better, healthier, positively functioning human being when your digestion is under control. And it really is such a blessing in sobriety. You don't even realize how much you're grateful for good digestion until you've gotten sober and you experience a life living how you're supposed to, like how we were designed to. I truly feel like my digestion is how I'm supposed to exist, essentially. So I'm very grateful for that. And as far as sleep, like, I don't have a bad night's sleep very often. Once in a blue moon, I'll not sleep well, but it's usually because of outside factors. I'm not sleeping in my usual environment, or there's an ambulance right outside my window in the middle of the night, or, factors that are contributing to a bad night's sleep. It's not actually just having a bad night's sleep. But when I was a drinker, I woke up every single night between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m. like clockwork. I mean, it was horrible. But now I sleep through the night, every single night, and you are a better human when you are sleeping well. My attitude is better. I'm more productive. I wake up just feeling rested and like I'm ready to conquer the day. I have a better day every day because my sleep is under control in sobriety. It's truly a blessing. When you're heavily drinking, you never reach a full REM cycle, like you never get that deep sleep. And so even though you might drink a lot and pass out on the couch and feel like you need alcohol to go to sleep, it's not quality sleep. And you don't even realize that until you get sober. And let me tell you really quick, it gets worse before it gets better. So yeah, in the beginning, you might struggle with your sleep and you're like, what is this girl talking about? My sleep sucks. It's worse. I can't get to sleep. I have insomnia, all this stuff. Yeah, push through, okay? Push through and trust me on this one, because it might be hard in the beginning, but it all evens out eventually. And unless you have an actual sleep disorder, your sleep will get better in sobriety. And it's something that I am so beyond grateful for. The next thing that I'm thankful for is the confidence that I have and just the self-assurance. I feel so self-assured. I feel confident in who I am. I feel confident in how I present myself because I'm not making these drunken mistakes or drunken decisions. I'm not slurring my words. I'm not doing something that I regret. I am fully aware of everything that I am doing, every choice that I make. I'm fully coherent for everything. And that gives me so much confidence. Like, I am going about the world just as my best self and like so sure of myself and my decisions. And that's a really amazing feeling, to be so confident in the person you are. I feel like when I was a drinker, I was constantly second guessing myself and like worried about what I did, what I said. I woke up every morning feeling like I needed to go on some apology tour for how I was the the previous day. I remember I'd wake up in the morning and I would check my text messages and make sure I didn't send anything stupid. I would check my Instagram and make sure that I didn't post anything stupid. I mean, that's not a great way to live, like constantly worried about how you're presenting and like the decisions that you're making, feeling so unconfident in who you are and what you do and how you behave day to day. It's embarrassing. So I'm very grateful for the confidence that I feel in sobriety. The next thing I'm thankful for is kind of finding my joy again, finding my spark, and experiencing life to the fullest. I have an interest, I would say, in food and drink. Not alcoholic drinks, but like I love drinks. I love bubble tea. I love sweet tea. I love sparkling waters. I love hot chocolate. I love my coffee in the morning. I love smoothies. I love checking out all the different drinks at my coffee shop. I had a fizzy lifting drink the other day, which is like beet juice with sparkling water and some other stuff. Last night I had a chaga. Well, it was called a chaga chaga choo choo from my coffee place. Chaga is, I guess, like mushroom coffee. It's supposed to give you like a different feeling than caffeine, like a little bit more of an elevated feeling instead of that jittery craziness. But anyway, I thought, why not? I'll try that at my coffee place. So there's just so many fun things to try. So many fun drinks. Like there's desserts, ice cream and milkshakes and cookies and baked goods. And with food, it's like I enjoy trying a new salad recipe or trying out a new restaurant or getting to-go food from this new Chinese place down the street. I don't know. It's just like the world is so fun. There are so many fun things to consume other than alcohol. And when I was a drinker, it kind of goes back to my first point of the alcohol noise. Like alcohol was the only thing I cared about. I didn't have an interest in food or beverages outside of alcohol. Every time I went to dinner, it wasn't about the dinner. It was about the booze. Every time. And I feel like I'm just experiencing life now. I'm so experimental with the things that I try. I want to try all the different things on the menu. I want to give this a go, give that a go, test my palate, see what I enjoy. I try baking things. I try cooking things. It's just so fun. And outside of food and beverage, like I truly feel like I'm just experiencing life. You feel like a kid again. Things that adults don't find fun, like sober people still find fun. You know, the bouncy house, the Christmas tree lights walk. I don't know. These things that I would not have found fun unless alcohol was involved when I was a drinker are now fun again in sobriety. You really connect with your inner child again. And playing fun games or watching a soccer game. I don't know. It's just, life is so fun. And you truly experience it all and you feel it all. This is how life is supposed to be lived. That's what I keep saying, but like, this is how life is supposed to be lived. It's not supposed to be numbed with alcohol. You're not supposed to need alcohol to exist in the world. There's so many fun, beautiful things to enjoy, and we deserve the opportunity to experience them without booze and just find joy in this beautiful life that we have. Okay. The next thing I'm thankful for, and the last thing on my list for today, although I could go on forever and ever and ever, but I'm thankful for time and getting my time back, really, in sobriety. I always say that the abundance of time in sobriety is a curse in the beginning and it's a blessing in the end. Like, there are so many hours in the day, and you really feel that in the beginning of sobriety. In the beginning, it's hard because you're like, how do I fill this time without alcohol? I mean, I used to drink, well, pretty much all day, but more intensely from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. every day. And like, that was my activity for the night. Even if I was watching TV or something, I hardly would remember what I even watched. Like, it wasn't about the TV. It was about just downing drinks or going to the bar and then coming home and drinking. Like, it was just always about drinking, and that's how I spent my evenings. And it's crazy how when you're drinking, your evening can just poof, go away. 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., just gone. like almost half your day. It's just gone because of alcohol. And so when you quit, it's like you almost feel that you have double the amount of life to live each day. And that's daunting in the beginning. Like I said, you're like, what do I do with all of this time? How do I fill all of this time? It's kind of crazy. But eventually you make it through, and eventually that abundance of time is such a blessing. You feel so grateful for this life you get to live, and you can do so much. That side hustle you've always wanted to do, that thing on your bucket list, that coffee with your friend from high school that you've been planning on having for a year and a half, you can finally make time for that. There's just time. You get to do everything that you want, and I feel like you're taking advantage of life. You're making the most of life. It's like, here, you get this one life, go and live it. And before I was drinking away a third of it, sleeping through a third of it, and only living a third of my life, really. And now I get my full life to live. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm getting the best sleep of my life, so it's worth it. You know what I mean? You are just living life to the fullest in sobriety and making the most out of it. You are squeezing so much out of life. It's just such a beautiful thing. And I do want to say, don't feel the pressure to make the most of life right at the beginning. I understand that it's hard in the beginning of sobriety and you're really just trying to make it through the day. But eventually, you will thrive. You will be so grateful for the time that you have, and you'll make the most of it. And you'll just feel like, wow, I can do so much with each day. You can binge that TV series you've been wanting to. You can watch every Leonardo DiCaprio movie to exist. I did that. You can just live. You can make time for a walk every day. You can start going to the gym. You can try baking or knitting or joining a kickball league. There's just time to do all these things that you've always wanted to do. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did I do it before? How did I get everything done that I needed to when I was drinking away half my life? It's actually crazy. So I'm very grateful for the time that I have now, and I'm grateful that I squeeze the most out of life. I'm grateful for this life, which when I was a drinker, I was not grateful for life. I didn't give a crap about life. But in sobriety, I've created a life that I actually want to live, and I'm grateful for it. Now I love life. Woohoo! So, happy Thanksgiving. There's so much to be grateful for in sobriety. Getting sober was the most life-changing decision I've ever made. It's the best decision I've ever made. It's given me so much. And for that, I'm just so beyond grateful. And like I said in the beginning, I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving day and Thanksgiving weekend. And sending love. Bye.